Mike Tyson boxing match, Time Traveler. Another time-traveling case that became popular is this video of a man at a Mike Tyson boxing match in 1995. The video is a short portion of the filmed match, and it shows an audience member holding what appears to be a smartphone. Camera phones weren't even manufactured and sold until 2000, so the idea of a smartphone is even more wild. The alleged time traveler is a man sitting in the front row in the audience. He's holding a white vertical device with a black spot or lens towards the top, and a small flash to the right. He appears to be looking through the device instead of directly at the fight. Explanations for this have included old digital cameras and special recording devices. Aside from the lens and flash being all wrong for cameras during this time period and the man looking through the device as opposed through a viewfinder of some kind, another issue is the orientation at which he is holding the device. It wasn't uncommon for older cameras to be used in a vertical portrait position, but it was quite rare. Because of photo printing and viewfinders, it was most common to keep your camera in a landscape position. There are a lot of things that make this confusing, and conspiracy theorists and paranormal enthusiasts speculate a time traveler, advanced alien, or government worker with access to technology advanced beyond the 90s. Either way, no one has ever published photos that appear to have been taken right at the event via smartphone, but no one has come forth claiming it was them and they were using a certain old camera, so this remains an open mystery, available for any explanation. Thailand girl with telekinesis. This video comes from a bus stop along a busy city street in Thailand. Several people exit the train and two young schoolgirls get into some kind of altercation with an older man. It's unsure what the argument is about, but one girl seems to be really telling him off when he starts to approach them with his fist in the air. The other girl, who has mostly remained quiet, immediately throws her hand up as if she stops the man, and he unexplainably is thrown back with great force, without having even been touched by the girl. Another man beside him begins to yell at the girls as well. The girl throws a hand into the air, which subsequently throws the man into the air as well. The girl looks down at her hands as if she was amazed by her own power. A few seconds later, even her friend is afraid of her and is backing away from the situation. The girl faces towards a table set up alongside the street and it falls down, knocking several things over. She becomes upset and starts to scream, and things near her begin to crash and break. Even a street light appears to fall. If these really are some form of unknown telekinetic powers, this young girl was apparently unaware she possessed them and is clearly terrified by her own ability. While this video could have likely been fake or connected to some media ploy, there has been no solid evidence suggesting so. With over 7 billion people in the world and scientific anomalies all around us, is it really all that hard to believe that people out there are capable of more than just most of us? Dynamo Jack. This Indonesian acupuncturist became popular when he was featured in a documentary titled The Ring of Fire: An Indonesian Odyssey. Dynamo Jack was discovered when a cameraman was injured during filming, and they sought Jack's medical attention. The team went in for what they assumed would be a usual visit, but they left totally amazed. During normal acupuncture, the doctor was somehow able to pass small volts of electricity through the small metal needles. The electricity caused the patient to shake in reaction to electricity, and also be nearly immediately cured of his damaged eye.
He uses acupuncture needles in the traditional points, but with a twist. Through them he directs a form of electricity, as he calls it. But he doesn't draw the electricity from a wall socket. He claims to generate it within his own body,
Dynamo Jack claimed that he obtained electrical abilities as well as control over energy through intense meditation. During this visit, the team also caught video of Jack causing a small crumple of newspaper to catch fire. He squats near the paper and holds a hand over it, while focusing or likely meditating. The fire begins to slowly ignite, and Jack even leaves his hand momentarily in the fire without pain. Unfortunately, the doctor didn't know this footage was going to be shared with the public, and he was very upset when he found out. While he did offer to show this team his abilities, he didn't want the public eye knowing of them, as he claimed he sought these unnatural powers for his own evolution as a human, and not to help others. He didn't want fame and believed the skeptics would circulate negative energy in his name. Of course, speaking of skeptics, many claim this footage is faked. However, the documentary was filmed in 1987, and faking footage like this didn't become popular until the rise of the internet. Many believe that obtaining abilities like this is actually quite possible through meditation and spiritual journey. And the idea that further filming was refused by Dynamo Jack lends to the idea that this wasn't just for fame. Otherwise, several more videos would have been publicized. The Jamison family. Bobby, Sherilyn, and their daughter Madison Jamison were originally believed to have been gone missing by the means of foul play and not by their own choice. The family vanished in early October 2009 from their hometown of Red Oak, Oklahoma. Family and friends had not heard from them in several days and noticed they weren't at their home either. So a report was filed, which led to their truck being discovered a few days after they went missing. The family truck was found in Lamar County, Oklahoma, about a 30-minute drive from their hometown. Inside the truck, the beloved family dog had been left behind to starve. The dog was severely malnourished and on the verge of death when it was rescued from the vehicle. Also inside the truck were Bobby and Sherilyn's IDs, wallets, and mobile phones. A GPS system was left behind, as well as $32,000 in cash. The family was known to carry large amounts of cash, but friends and family admit that $32,000 seemed like much more than usual. In Bobby's phone, a photo of Madison was found. It appeared to have been taken in the Woodland Mountains. The child is dirty, has messy hair, and seemed quite scared. Family don't believe the photo was taken by Bobby because of the fear on the child's face, and the fact that she is not looking in the direction of the camera. This was the only photo taken on the phone since the family disappeared. In November 2013, 4 years after the family vanished, their skeletal remains were found by 2 hunters. They were located less than 3 miles from where their truck had been abandoned. In July 2013, after extensive testing, the remains were confirmed to have belonged to the Jamisons. However, a cause of death could not be determined as the bodies were too badly decayed. Security footage had been found during investigations from the day before the family's disappearance. It showed the family loading belongings into their truck. They seemed to have been in a trance-like state, hardly speaking to one another, pacing from the truck to the house even when they weren't loading things, and generally appearing paranoid. They were also very thin, weak, and sluggish in the footage.
They never acknowledged each other as they were walking back and forth from the vehicle. Never acknowledged each other. It's like they were the only persons in the world.
This led to the possibility of the parents abusing drugs or being addicted to meth. There had been no reports of drug use in the home though, and investigators didn't find a single trace of drugs or drug paraphernalia. This footage did lead to the discovery that several weeks before going missing, Bobby had spoken to a local preacher about his home being haunted. He had asked if he could purchase holy bullets to kill the spirit tormenting his family. Even Sherilyn had reported the alleged hauntings to family and friends. This event was what led the family inquiring about a local home for sale. They were looking to leave behind those supposed spirits and start over. According to medical reports and family reports, Bobby and Sherilyn both suffered from depression in the past, And in addition, Sherilyn was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. While these types of mental illnesses don't commonly cause delusions or hallucinations, in severe cases it is possible. Despite these medical details, people still speculate several different explanations such as cult involvement, cartel drug dealings, alien or paranormal abductions, and several other things. It has been 3 years since the discovery of the family's remains, and there has been no further evidence to explain their death. So technically at this point, people can speculate literally anything, which is what makes this case so popular. Time-traveling woman. For this entry, we have decided to group two videos into one because they are very similar and are both possible evidence for time travel, and there is no evidence related to it other than what we see. A woman seems to walk by the camera, unaware it's even there. She has a device or object pressed up to her ear as if talking and laughing. The way she holds this device is uncanny to the way cell phones are held, and there's no clear explanation for why else she'd be talking. The next video has a little more of a story to it. This is a clip from an unknown 1938 film that features several people walking along the street. A small group of 3 women and 1 man pass the camera. The woman in the middle appears to be holding a black device up to her ear and talking, much like the woman in the first clip, and much like anyone using a cell phone today. As she nears the camera, she looks right into it, removes the device from her ear, and begins to talk to the people next to her. As she moves the device from her ear, we can see it a little more clearly, and it's obvious that she didn't just have her hand on her face. However, the details of the object are unclear. The original post of this video on YouTube featured a comment from user Planet Check, in which they claimed that this woman was their grandmother. According to Planet Check, she was 17 years old. Planet Check writes, "I asked her about this video and she remembers it quite clearly. She says DuPont, the company that reportedly owns the factory in this video, had a telephone communication section in the factory. They were experimenting with wireless telephones. Gertrude and 5 other women were given these wireless phones to test out for a week. Gertrude is talking to one of the scientists holding another wireless phone who is off to her right as she walks by. This seems unlikely as the exploration of wireless phones as early as 1938 would have been released to the public or at least documented somewhere in history. Others claim it isn't impossible as it could have been more like a walkie-talkie, but it still seems unlikely to just be handed out to a random young woman without any documentation. Furthermore, Planet Check claims that they still have the phone, but never updated with a photo. It's not impossible that this really was the case, since it seems more logical than time travel, but there are still too many missing pieces for anyone with a sense of wonder to just blindly accept this as the answer. Even if these women were time travelers, there's still a huge issue even with that theory: cell phone towers. If you were to time travel back in time with a cell phone, it likely wouldn't even work, much less be able to make cell phone calls. The programming just doesn't make sense, and the lack of cell phone towers mean that there wouldn't even be a signal. So if these women did have cell phones, how could they be talking on them, and who would they possibly be talking to? Regardless, they're holding some sort of device that was not known to the public, and that on its own is a mystery.